In the meantime, let me pause and introduce our regulars for this part of the show. First, Bob Weiner, Robert Weiner, if you please, Democratic strategist, columnist, and former communications director for Clinton drug czar General Barry McCaffrey. He's also former chief of staff for the House Committee on Aging, as well as being the former communication director for Congressman Rangel and Conyers of New York and Michigan, respectively. Bob, good to have you back.
It's a pleasure, Alan, and the Republicans wish it were just Todd Akin, but Steve King, Rush Limbaugh, and even Ryan's amendments and Romney on personhood, they got a problem.
Bob, how badly is Obama going to be faced or be harmed by the constant reminder that it was his party that removed over $700 billion and not the other side? Bob Weiner.
Well, Republicans are trying very hard to make the blame on Obama, except they're the ones, and the polls today, NBC Wall Street Journal, 50-34, people trust Obama more than Romney on Medicare because they know that Obama's taking the money, and we have this debate every show, Alan, Obama's taking the money to bring it into paying for the donut hole and taking it from insurance overcharges, whereas the Republicans actually cut benefits to people, not from the provider. That is a night and day difference.
Bob, to you, I gave you a promise that I'd let you pick up on the other side of the break. We were, of course, discussing the government, Obama arguing that government overspending actually equals citizens underpaying, and you took umbrage.
The CBO said, Alan, that under the Ryan plan, it would be $6,500 if under the voucher system, whether it's voluntary or not. You go to that voucher system for people under 55, but Granny still doesn't want their kids to have a bad system when they grow up. You're going to have half the Medicare value under the Ryan plan. That's the reality, according to CBO.
Well, that's the reality, according to the CBO, that assumes no other reforms would take place. And, of course, if you do that, you're stuck with the original trajectories, and therein lies the flaw of the argument. The flaw isn't with CBO so much as the assumption that the numbers and formats and foundations and grounds on which the CBO predicates its projections would necessarily remain unchanged.
Yeah, well, what reforms are you going to substitute in that are going to change that? Because all the Republicans have ever wanted to do is destroy Medicare, vote against it, call it socialism, say it shouldn't happen, and cut it. So what are the real reforms? They never get identified.
We can't constantly only do politics. We have to actually solve the problem.
Let me respond to that, because
Bob.
Claude Pepper, the chair of the House Aging Committee and one of the real architects of these systems when they were created, pointed out to me and explained that if you take away the wealthy as the base, if you take them away and stop giving the benefits equally, you lose the broad support for Social Security and Medicare. It is an absolutely imperative that this be done equally across the board.
This does not seem to go alongside the Democrats' vitriol as it relates to the Ryan plan, Bob Weiner.
Well, the vitriol, and I remember when Pelosi came out and showed some of that vitriol against the Bowles-Simpson plan, is because it wants to cut the shred out of Social Security and Medicare and not give the proportionate tax cuts, tax reinstitutions for the wealthy to help pay for this.